Now the outer wall of the annex to the kitchen was, on the upper part it was drywall, on the lower part it was wood plank. I'm going to show you some images from Book 1, Chapter 2 of the Farmhouse, showing you how the wall was put together. It's not a standard wall. So as you can see here, we've got insulation and drywall above. And we had cut out little sections to put in some nailers because She Who Must Be Obeyed wanted wide wood plank. And she chose the individual boards and how they went together. So it was all her. Then we just put some batten on it. And that was pretty much the wall except for the little shelf that went on top. It was like a chair rail, but it was way too high for a chair rail. There's a close-up so you can see what it did look like. And this is what the chair rail looked like after it rained. So we had dark spots the length of it. We had to do something about that. I didn't know whether I was going to have to tear the whole wall down, but I consulted with a contractor. So what the contractor suggested I do is remove that chair rail and leave it for a week to see if the pink insulation in back would dry out. So we took it back to that point right there and we let it dry for about a week. Then the next clip here is showing how we patched up the chair rail. Now on the outer wall of the annex there was that little kind of like a chair rail. So I have sanded the black watermarks off. I'm going to try to spot stain it. Will it work? Don't know. I'm not even sure of the actual color that we used way back when. When in doubt about any finish in the house, I go back to this document that I wrote, Book of the House. So I would scroll down to the history and then do a control click right there, and that takes me to the finishes. And if I look right there, chair rail shelf is Old Masters Special Walnut. So that's how I keep everything straight. So after 2 coats of stain, a coat of poly, and some 2000 wet dry sandpaper, smooth it out. It's not perfect, but at least that black is gone. There's a little bit light right there, a little bit of light right there, except it's the camera showing it worse than it actually is. So I guess we're going to go with that and put it back on the wall now that the wall is dry. And so there the small ledge is back up. We just got to put the electric back together. Luckily I didn't have to take the wall down. That would have been a pain. So I've crawled under the annex and I took down a little piece of the plywood. So that's what I got. I got the plastic, and then right there is the blown in insulation that we use for the floor. I stuck my hand up in there and you can see it's fluffy. It's not wet. So I don't know that I need to take that entire thing off because it was on this side where the water was, and if it did get wet it would have tinkled on down. At least that's what I'm thinking. So maybe I lucked out on that too. So I'm going to put this back. That piece right there, it wraps around the post, and we're going to call it good.